Hey there, everyone. Welcome to A Slice of Life with Kelly and John. Today, our guest is a dear, dear old friend, Kyle Branche, who has been on before. And we were talking about he's known in Hollywood as the bartender to the stars. And we talked about that, but he does a lot of things. What we're talking about today is makes these puzzle books. And they're great for gifts or great if you're trying to exercise your mind, and he sells them on Amazon. And how did that happen? How did you even come up with this idea with all the other things you know how to do and that you do? What made you think of puzzle books?
Well, okay, you know what happened is
What?
after I did my first puzzle book, which was on cocktails, which is the book you recently grabbed of your own, I think. Yeah, that one.
Yep.
I think a year or two went by, and I want to do another cocktail type of puzzle book, and the word search
Yeah.
uh, of which you're looking up names of cocktails in that book,
Right,
right?
right.
Right, which are cool because you get to categorize each puzzle
Hmm.
with nothing but Scotch drinks, okay? Nothing
Hmm.
but classic cocktails, nothing
Right.
but and all the way through. So I just got to fumbling around a month or so about what can I do something besides cocktail. So because I have the music business background, of which back then it was really in my end, it was really the record business. But if you're a musician, it's the music business, right?
Right.
So I started fumbling around with putting song titles in puzzle grids. And I started sampling them and testing them and this and that and got the sizing right and all that. When I first attempted to publish book one, which is Rock and Roll Puzzlers with Amazon, I didn't know if it was going to be accepted or not or approved because of the potential copyright issue with using song titles.
Right.
But then I realized after that, and they asked me, I wanted to send them a sample. They go, well, that you need to send the whole book. So I had to do the whole book to find out first. Then I realized, well, that's all used in magazines and entertainment and all kinds of stuff anyway. So once it got approved, then it just kind of opened the floodgates to create the series that is right now.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Awesome. And now, how many books do you have?
I just finished book 10 about 3 weeks ago,
Awesome.
which is this big one right here, From Berlin to Beyond, Composers of the Great American Songbook.
So Berlin meaning Irving, Berlin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, which is the very first
Here's,
puzzle grid in the book.
here's this one. The covers are just gorgeous. I mean, these
Yeah,
are
they are.
beautiful.
Very
Not only
slick.
are they
Very
like
good.
really good mental exercise,
There
but
we
they're
go.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, they came out good. This book came out. This book came out great. I just got a really good review from a theater director, journalist friend of mine who's retired now, but he loves to see these books, especially that has to do with the type of work that he was involved in for 40 years. And he just loves it. He thinks I did, a real good job was done with it, but it requires a lot of research. I mean, this was a 200-hour job,
Wow.
this book.
Oh,
And it was the most out of all the books because it required the amount of research. Okay, there's like 3,800 songs in this book, right? There's 160 puzzles. Each song, in order to give fair credit, because back in the day, a lot of these songwriters were born in 1884, 1892, 1906, and that sort of thing, which is the American Songbook, kind of goes all the way up to 1950, before the 60s started, right?
right.
What happened is in order to there's a lot of songwriting credits because a lot of them wrote the music and separate ones wrote the lyrics, like Rogers and Hart, like Lerner and Lowe, like Kander and Ebb. So you have to give equal credit to both of them. And with certain songwriters worked with a lot of different lyricists over the years. So I have to give equal credit to, oh, by the way, here's the flyer.
Oh,
Cool,
nice.
huh?
Nice. That's all of them. Yeah.
So you have to give credit to, like this, Lou Brown. He worked with a lot of different music composers because Lou Brown is a lyricist. And so I have to list those,
Oh,
which means
wow.
I have to check every song to see who the co-writer was, the co-lyricist or the lyricist or the music composer. So that's what took so long for this book.
So legally, you're required to do that if you mention the song. You need
Not
to.
legally, but I just wanted to give fair.
Yeah,
Nice.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, because
Think
the copyright technically doesn't cover the
the
title of the
title.
song. It covers the
Right,
melody and the lyrics.
right.
You could write the title of a song anywhere, but as a writer, as a musician, I applaud you for giving the recognition
Yeah.
to the people who you didn't really need to go above and beyond to do
Yeah.
that for. So that's very, very nice that you did that. Especially now, why don't you tell the people or the audience what the American Songbook is? A lot of people don't know what the American Songbook is.
I don't know. What is
The-
it?
You know, it's songs that were written for both Broadway and movies back in
Mhm.
the day that, Cole Porter, Johnny Mercer, uh,
Irving
Henry Man-
Berlin,
Irving Berlin,
George M. Cohan.
Henry
Uh,
Mancini.
yeah,
And I've even taken the liberty to add a couple of them in here that are a little borderline because I can do that, which is Jimmy Webb, who's still alive today, Paul Williams, still
yep,
alive today.
yep.
I put Michael Feinstein in here because I'm a friend of a friend who went to school with him in
The
Ohio.
American Songbook is like the classics, but obviously written all by Americans.
Mostly, yeah, or by they were naturalized Americans when they came over from different
Okay, yeah,
countries.
yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah,
Uh,
and they became Americans. Now there's a couple in here like Noel Coward, who I added in here just because he was real popular and he may be from England and that sort of thing. You know what? I'm going to put him in here just because I can.
and what song did Noel Coward write?
Well, I'd have to go in there and look it up.
Okay,
There's 3,800 songs. How many do you want me to memorize?
I have,
But it's
look,
really covering the history of popular song,
yeah,
right? Which is like It Never Entered My Mind, My Funny Valentine,
Moon River.
Moon River. There we go. I mean, all those songs. Okay,
Classic.
this book is really dedicated to our parents and grandparents because they're the ones that grew up with this music on
Yep.
AM radio back in the 30s and 40s, and on listening to 45s on the record player, maybe the jukeboxes in the diners.
Not even 45s. They listen to 78s on these things.
78s. There you go. That too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I wanted to dedicate that to our parents and our grandparents, because that's part of why we have all of the different music traditions and genres that we do today. A lot of it stems out of that. Blues comes in and out of all of that music too. Ragtime comes from that music, right? And all of that. So I put all of it together. I put James P. Johnson in here. I put U.B. Blake in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some that I didn't because they really belong more in the second jazz book that I'll do at some point in time. But it just covers a lot. I could go through all the names with you if you'd like. There's 170 of them in here.
I have a question about, it might not be in that book, but what genre era was Frankie Valley? Was it Frankie Valley in the Four Seasons? Did you
Well,
do
first
anything with that?
it started as the Four Seasons, and then after a few hits, Frankie was like, "No, no, I'm the
I'm out of
lead
here.
singer, I'm the voice." Now I wanted to be Frankie Valli, just like it was the Supremes, and then
Yeah.
it was Diana Ross and the Supremes, and
Yeah.
there's so many other bands that have done that. But I would just say they were early '60s pop rock, AM pop rock.
They remind
It
me of
was-
my dad. That's what my
It
dad
was
used to say.
it was like 50s and 60s, and that book. I'm going to do a book on the 60s, so I'll put Frankie in there, who happens to live 5 minutes away, right over here in Calabasas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to do a book on that because I'm going to include all of the songwriters from the Brill Building into the 60s book, which is
Okay,
going to cover. a
again,
whole
tell,
squad.
What's the Brill
tell
Building?
Kelly what the Brill Building was.
It's a group of songwriters from back in the day in New York that actually included Neil Diamond
Yep.
early on, Neil Sedaka,
Yep.
Jerry Lieber, Mike Stoller, of which Mike Stoller, his wife performed at our club in Hollywood.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I actually spoke to him on the phone one time because he called
Carol King was one of
Carol
them.
King. Yeah, Carol King, Laura Nero,
Yep.
several others that it's just, I have to go through and do the research to put the
And
collection.
many of them, they were like, and they were there. They were like the stable of writers that mostly at a certain time,
Yeah,
Phil Spector would just, take these songs that these people had written, and they became the standards, the soundtrack of our lives. But
yeah.
the Brill Building, hits just came out of that place.
It was like Brill Building was like Motown.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
just boom,
It was
boom,
the
and
New
it's
York City Motown, but at least but with Hitsville, they recorded the music there. The
yeah.
Brill Building was just writers who were hawking songs.
That's
You
right.
you
That's
know.
right. Now, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but Neil Diamond and Barbara Streisand went to high school together.
Yes, in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Uh, um, uh, I forget the name of the school.
me too. But I'll look it
Uh,
up. No problem. It's
yeah,
easy enough to
yeah,
do.
That's
yeah.
interesting. Huh.
But
Um,
anyway, that'll be in the 60s book when I get to that. I'll do a 60s. I've done an 80s. I'll do a
okay.
60s book. I'll do a 90s book because there's some music in there, rock music from America that I want to cover. Counting Crows, Soul Asylum, and a lot of other bands from that time that I didn't really quite cover in the rock book. So I kind of want to do a book of their own for that. But the 60s one is going to be cool because I love 60s music. I performed songs at the club and the open mic night, 60s music, the Hollies, the Grassroots, the Guess Who. I mean, it just goes on and on. So it'll be a fun era to cover.
And are you doing the 70s?
Well, the 70s is part of the rock and roll puzzlers era. So I'm going to be doing probably book 2s and book 3s of that, of which
Okay.
more is in there. Otherwise, I'd be
Are the
doing
Bee Gees in there?
the
Don't-
Bee Gees.
Oh,
No, the Bee Gees are in, what book did I put them in? I can't remember if it's in the 80s or not.
okay.
It's in a section. I'm not sure if it's Blue Eyed Soul. I may have put it in R&B, soul, and funk. I'd have to look it up. But yes, of course they'll be covered. Yeah, if I didn't do it already, but I think I did. Yeah, they got a lot of great songs that were in the early period before they got
Yeah.
real popular with the
Absolutely.
disco period.
I
Those are
really
some of my
liked
favorites.
them. Yeah, I liked them before the
Yeah.
disco
Yeah.
period. To
Yeah.
love somebody and
Yeah, got to get a message to you.
got to get a
Yeah.
message
And,
to you, and then there was the
Yeah, they have
so many.
yeah,
they have a whole greatest hits package even before the disco era
yeah,
in the
absolutely.
late 70s. Yeah.
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 Love the Bee Gees. Love me.
But see, that's what's fun because it brings up ideas and inspirations. Songs like Kelly, what you just brought up with them it's so much fun to put these books together because you're covering music history in a way that it's never
Yeah.
ever been done before.
Yeah.
And these are books that you don't have to read. You just kind of play.
Yep.
You just got to have fun with it,
Yep.
and it's a good memory exercise for anybody of
Yep.
any age.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And that's and you got a couple of my books now, John. So how do you like them so far?
I love them. I've gone through them, and I'll tell you how. When you first sent them, it was the summertime, so there I was out on the beach, just under the umbrella, and enjoying that, and then at the gym. Once it got too cold here to do my walk-in hiking outside, I go to the gym and I get on a treadmill and I just open it and I got my headphones in and I'm just
Oh,
doing it.
wow.
And
Oh,
one
that's
of
cool.
one of
Yeah.
the other people who does crossword puzzles,
Mhm.
they're
Oh,
doing
how
a lot of, what are you doing there? And so I gave her one of the other books to just go through, and she refused to give it back to me. So
Okay. You know what about this new book? Johnny Green is in here, and he wrote Body and Soul, as well as a bunch of other tunes that he co-wrote with other
right.
artists. Well, I'm good friends with his daughter in town here in LA, Babby, who is was a patron of the Gardenia. She's 85 now. She loves these books. She does one puzzle a day every single day.
Oh,
And she has not only this book, but she has a couple of the previous other ones as well. And I gave her credit in here because I asked Babby if she wanted to choose the songs for her dad's puzzle in here, and she chose them all. And so it was real fun to be able to have that opportunity for one of these individuals in this book to be able to have that kind of a close connection with.
Hey, yeah, if I have some friends from back in the 60s and 70s groups. If you want to talk to them about putting their songs in them, they'd love it. Tommy James and the Shondells,
Oh yeah, they'll be going in for sure.
the Young Rascals,
Yeah,
Vanilla Fudge,
yeah. I
stuff
did.
like
I
that.
did. I did a Young Rascals tune at the club, uh, kind of middle of last year. How can I be sure?
Great song, great
In
song.
a world that's constantly changing.
Maybe you can hook them up and they can give you like a couple quotes or something that they can put in the book or on the
Yeah,
puzzle
there you
pages.
go.
Yeah, that's puzzle. Yeah, that's possible too.
Something
Anyway,
like
I'll
that.
contact you,
Or
John,
a picture from
when I
back
do
when
the
that
60s
nobody's
book,
seen.
and
Absolutely,
I'll let you know the whole.
they'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'll let you know the whole collection that I put together, and you could take a look at it as far as the artists and bands that I want to consider for that book, and you can pick and choose how you want to work, what you want to do with the connections that you have with those
Sure. The sad
musicians.
part is I could have gotten you to, the McCoys, Rick Derringer with Hang On Sloopy and Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo and all that, but unfortunately he passed away
Yeah,
only a
but,
few months ago.
yeah,
That
last year.
that would
Yeah,
have been a shame. That would have been cool for you too.
yeah. By the
But
way, just to let you guys know, the Gardenia is officially closed for good. It was our last night open. I worked 5 bar shifts at the club in December. The last night we were open, it was December 21st because it's been bought and it's going to be taken over and opened, and the new owners took over in January. We're just going to see how it
again,
goes.
tell the audience what the Gardenia
Yeah, tell us
was.
about it.
Yeah, the Gardenia was the longest running cabaret supper club in the United States. It's on Santa Monica Boulevard in La Brea. It's right walking distance from Formosa Cafe and Jones over in on the
Los
boulevard there.
Angeles. Yeah.
And it was there for 44 years. And we had, thousands of singers and great musicians come in and over that time. And I was there for the longest period of time, really, for about 36 of it overall. And so I thought you were going to be able to make it to LA, John. That's why I brought that up, because I didn't know if you were going to come into the club or not before it closed.
No, no. I'm afraid the next time I get out to LA, it's going to be hard to get on the plane to come back to New Jersey. As
Oh,
much
okay.
as I love New Jersey,
Yeah.
but
Well, how are you feeling about things? Because you were part of that place for so long. Was it,
Yeah.
a sad night? Were there tears or, how did
We
people feel?
we kind of kept it upbeat. You know who did a show on the 21st was the host of the longest of the open mics. The longest running open mic night in the country was there.
Oh, nice.
Which is Carrie Kelsey, and she did a great show, and all of us. I mean, believe me, it was easy to get emotional and come to tears. I had to
Wow.
hold myself together behind the bar because I'm in front of everybody for
Yeah.
hours at a time,
Yeah.
talking with everybody, reminiscing, and it's like I just got to keep it upbeat here because I don't want to break down. And
Yeah. Yeah. It had to be hard. I know how
a
much.
long run there,
Yeah. It was such a part of your life. And all the people you met there. And I know they loved you because you're so special. You're making me cry too.
Yeah, it
You're
was
such a good
it was
guy.
a good time, and we kept it upbeat. And some other shows that happened before that in the month of December kind of were that way too, because everybody was kind of having their last shows. Maud
Yeah.
performed her last show there. Her dad performed her last show. Some other ones as well. Who else performed a show there? Because see, we knew the whole Reiner family.
Mm,
Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner,
mm,
Estelle, Carl's wife, used to perform each and every year there. So Carl would bring in everybody to
Right.
the club, and Mel Brooks is going to be there because he's everywhere that Carl goes,
mm.
and which is a fun thing because it's always great to see Mel in there because he's
Right.
kind of he enjoys cracking jokes with us, and one time he came in with Anne Bancroft before she passed away.
Wow.
But anyway, Annie, when their mother passed away, Annie, the daughter, took over and started performing shows of her own. Well, we hadn't seen Annie in a few years because she was performing elsewhere. But when she found out that we were closed, she came back and she did another show at the club on the 16th because I was there that night. And then like a week later, that crazy tragedy happened. And it's like, ugh. But it just goes back to that history where we've known the Reiner family for a long time in the club because Tom knew Carl and everybody in New York when he was on Broadway, the owner of the club. So there's all this entertainment connection.
Well, how many people does the Gardenia hold? It's a really small, intimate venue, right?
Yeah, about tops at about 60.
So
Yeah.
if you're watching these performers, it's like you're in their living room. You're in,
Oh
like
yeah.
really
Yeah,
intimate
I mean,
setting.
if you can perform at an intimate lounge and club like that, because it's really a listening room, it's not background music, it's a show,
Yeah.
and that's why it's a supper club. You come in, you have dinner, the room goes dark, the stage lights are on, and everybody is right there. So
Yeah.
if you can perform there, you can perform anywhere on any other stage, and that's what makes it
Yeah.
vital and important to the community of entertainment and musicians and singers and performers in Los
Mhm.
Angeles and New York and London and everywhere else to have venues like that where you can practice your craft.
Yeah, that's what I loved about LA and what I miss is when you saw, people performing at the Viper Room or the
Mhm.
Whiskey, or you're right there. It's like, you're not in this big stadium and they're a little dot down on the stage. You're right there 10 feet, sometimes 10 feet away from them. You can see them sweating. Um,
Mhm.
so that's really
Well,
a treat.
you've seen some of the videos that I've posted on my Facebook page, Kelly, where
Yeah.
I've gone up and performed on stage
Yeah.
and did a song with the musicians. So you see kind of
How
the
close it is.
the
Yeah.
proximity of the room, the size there,
Yeah.
and so therefore, but you know what? It's a very supportive crowd.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing a show or you're there for the open mic, it doesn't matter. Everybody that comes into there supports each other, and it makes it
Yeah.
much more comfortable and entrusting. And there's a lot less sweat on your forehead.
Yeah. No, I miss that so much about LA, just the intimacy and of the art community, the artists, the
Yeah,
creative and the camaraderie and mouthful there and just yeah, sharing those experiences. And some people are very, they made it big and they're very famous, but when they come back to these little clubs, they're just another person sitting there with everyone else and
that's right. Yeah,
sometimes
that's
in the
why I mean
audience.
the room at the Gardenia was it was like a living room for people
Yeah.
that are very well known that come in and just hang
Mhm.
out, and they're just a regular person like anybody else, and they prefer to be called by their first name,
Right.
which was not an easy thing for us to get kind of used to. To call Clint Eastwood Clint is kind of weird, you know, and then I'm the bartender, and then are the servers on the floor. You've got speaking of Henry Mancini, he came in. He was there one night. At the same time, Robert Goulet was there, Raquel Welch, Chevy Chase, Norman Lear. It's a
What a
whole
head
history.
trip that would be, though, like to have
Yeah,
all these people at your place at
and they're
one time.
that close.
Yeah.
Everybody's hanging
Yeah.
out together. That's why I call it a living room, because it's living entertainment in the
Yeah.
moment. It's live. The musicians are fantastic. We got a baby grand piano that kills it. Bruce, the owner, tunes it. So it's just one of those things where it's a multi-collaborative effort, which is part of how it was able to last as long as it did.
Well, have you heard what they're going to put there now, or the new owner? Do you know
We
anything
kind of
about it?
don't know yet. Even Bruce doesn't know, I think, at this time. It's
And
just a
Bruce was
matter
the
of
old
wait.
owner.
Yeah, he's the owner. Yeah, yeah. Tom passed away in 17, December 17. Bruce will just have to. He doesn't know for sure either. Nobody
Oh, so he
knows
still owns
exactly.
it. It's got the same owner, but he closed it.
No. It's been bought.
Oh, okay, so he
But
sold it.
that doesn't mean that he's going to know everything exactly of what they're going to do, because
Yeah.
it's really,
He's not
he
the
doesn't
owner.
really want that to be part of it. It's not really his
Right.
business.
Yeah.
He's not trying to pry in. He's trying to remove himself,
Right.
from that. So he doesn't have all of that responsibility anymore. He's a
Yeah.
doctor. He's a doctor. He's a physician. So he's very busy with a lot of other things in life besides the club.
Well,
Yeah.
we sort of drifted away from your books, but how about letting people know where they can get them?
They're all on Amazon. Just,
Yeah, we're going to put a
when
link in the descriptions. We'll put a
Yeah.
link.
They're all on Amazon. Just type in the name of the book, type in my name, click under the category of books, and one or more of
Puzzle
them
books.
will pop up. And you
Got it.
can
And the category is simply puzzle books.
just go under the category of books, and then type in, the title of the books:
Got it.
rock and roll puzzlers, jazz puzzlers, country puzzlers, 80s music puzzlers, anything like that. Or just type my name in along with the book, and
Right.
it helps connect.
Yeah. I just typed in your name
Yeah.
I went on Amazon. I just typed in your
So-
name on the search bar,
and a
and
bunch of stuff comes up.
yeah, the books come up, and then I clicked on your
Yeah.
name and it took me to your page.
Yeah, I've got two 10-book series on Amazon. I have over 20 titles on Amazon
Wow.
because I have a 10-book series called Cocktail Hotel that is like a historical archive of drink that I put together. That was a huge
Yeah, I remember that.
project, too.
That was big.
Back in 20 years ago. But that's on there. It's a 1,000-page book, so I had to separate it, or else the spine would be this thick. But what's cool is I separated it. The book was designed in floors, because Cocktail Hotel, right?
Yep.
Floors, and the 10th
It
floor
was
the
really
penthouse.
cute.
So each book is its own floor, separate floor, and it's really cool design too.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of great cocktail history in case certain websites on the internet that house a gazillion cocktails, if all of a sudden they just disappear and they're gone. Well, that's why I decided to cull it all way back then and put it into this book so it wouldn't be lost in history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, all 10 of these books are available. And I'm taking the rest of this year off from any book material. And then I'm going to start back in 2027 with really the next set of 10 books in the puzzle series.
Yay.
I'm going to do book 2s of the rock and roll, jazz, country. I'm going to cover Americana music. I'm going to do a 60s book, a 90s book. One offshoot book that I may do is one on movies and TV shows, because that'll be kind of cool.
Mhm.
That would be fun.
Cover different eras, genres,
Yeah.
sci-fi movies, horror flicks, and cover the names of the shows. I did 3 different samples of them a few years ago. I did one on medical dramas, so I covered Medical Center and Emergency and Marcus Welby, MD, and I put those in from the shows that I used to watch when I was a kid. And I did one on private detective shows, like Barnaby Jones, and so I know how fun that would be, just doing a couple small samples of it. So I would like to do that book and put that in the series as well.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that, like all these, the history of TV and music, and like going through your puzzle book, I'll come across a song and I'll be like, oh, I forgot about that song. I may never have heard that song again for the rest of my life, and I love that song. So you just forget. You forget all your favorite songs unless they're playing somewhere.
You could just pop it up on the radio on Spotify or however
you go look it up on the internet
and boom, it's there.
Yeah.
And some, there's people that are, I showed a friend of mine this the other day. He started looking up songs on Spotify so he could listen to them while he's doing the puzzle. So that's, you can do that
Yeah,
too.
that would be
Like
fun. Yeah.
every song on the puzzle book, see if one of the streaming
You
things,
can find
I'm
it.
not a big, I'm not a big streaming pusher because I still believe in physical media, but there is a use for it.
Yeah.
And therefore you could look up the songs of every single that's in every puzzle and listen to them while
Yeah.
you're doing the puzzle and see if you can get the puzzle book done before you've listened to every single song.
Yeah.
It's like a challenge. It's like a timing challenge,
Yep.
but it's really good for the memory too.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good. It's a good mind exercise,
Yeah.
which we all need as we get older. But yeah, I just think of songs are such they're such a part of your history and your memory, and it's personal for everyone. We can
Yeah.
listen to a song and have different feelings and memories from the same song.
Well, I worked in the music business for 6 years back in my late teens and early 20s. So it was not difficult to utilize that knowledge and experience and
Right.
pull all of that into these books
Yeah.
that has even expanded it further from what I knew. So believe me, this last book I did, that was an education. That was a learning experience for me. Did I know some of the material and some of the songwriters? Yes, but not all of them.
Right.
So I had to all that research is like, that was a sizable education. That's a musicology course in one book right there.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. People just need to see it and understand it. And they'll go, oh, I get this now.
Yeah.
Right.
I see what you did because I'm inside the book, right? I mean, when you create something, it's one thing, but you really want other people to see there's nothing ever been put together like this before.
Yeah.
That is able to encompass all of these famous songwriters from the past. Now they get to be in something that it's like a party for them. If all of them in heaven were to see this, they would just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it gives them a chance to have that camaraderie, like you said,
Yeah.
in one large volume that covers all of the history of with all of the work that they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Broadway, in movies, musicals,
To know that they're not forgotten. They're
songs that
not
they wrote,
forgotten.
songs that they wrote deliberately
Yeah.
for certain singers, like
Yep.
Sinatra, like Tony Bennett, like Nat King Cole, like, and
Yeah.
I mean, on and on and on. So,
Yeah.
okay, here's something else new. If you want to go into this, that is still music related that I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I'm taking a break from the books. And John, you'll like this because you don't have to come over here and look at my music library now.
Ah.
I'm in the pre-production of creating a brand new YouTube channel that is going to be utilizing that music library as physical media for content to show how I curated the library that I have, that I've kind of redone over the
Love
last
that.
decade, right?
Yeah.
Now I started it 40 some years ago, but I really redesigned it over the last decade of how to go about utilizing the listening pleasure of various CDs, album CDs of one artist or one singer or one band in your CD music changer that might be a 5-disc. I also have a 6-disc brand new one in the closet that I haven't pulled out yet because I buy all that stuff. I have amps, I have cassette backups in case something goes wrong, because it's harder to find that type of stuff now, even though Japan's going to start reissuing and remaking the old Pioneer amp receivers. I just read that the other night. Anyway, it's not a review of the music. I go about showing people how to have the potential of creating little musical portals by using the random and shuffle mode in there all the time. So you're not like albums. I love vinyl. Okay. I love the sound of vinyl and all of that sort, but it's very limited in how you can listen to them. You put it on the record player.
It's got to play all the way through.
And you know what song's coming right after the other. See, that I'm not in love with. So the usage of that physical media in CD form is you can create different ways of listening to this. Like, oh wow, now when you don't know what song's coming up next. And I have a library of great stuff in various music genres that I'm going to cover in this very close up. It's not about me, it's about that. So my face isn't even going to be in the video. You'll hear my narration and my spoken word, but it's something that I'm probably going to be launching in March.
Fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Let us know.
The channel is called Station Kyle 99.9, like radio, right? Like Station KYLE 99.9.
Oh, I love it.
But the title, the basic name of the content is Music Librarian.
Love it.
And then you're going to see, and I go from there. But there's a lot of pre-production in this to be able to do it right and to be able to hopefully get it down the road later this year or next year, just get it monetized. I have enough content for 200 videos in the first 2 years right now.
So what is the copyright for that? Like, because you're narrating it as it's considered educational?
That's right. So therefore there's not a copyright issue because I'm not playing the music.
Oh, you're not?
I'm talking about, and I'm opening up the physical media so people can see what it looks like on the inside.
Okay.
And talk about certain things like, you know what, the back cover, these songs you could barely read because whoever designed this designed the CD back cover on a larger screen and didn't realize that when you shrink it down to CD size, you can barely read the song titles.
That's always been my argument. Albums, you had that 12-inch by 12-inch artwork that, was just, it had lyrics, it had artwork, it had details about the people who worked on it, and you were able to read it all and see it all. And then, of course, when they opened it, and they opened it or tripled it. But, now with CDs, you don't see, you can't read anything. You need
there's some they do a good job and some that's like, come on, you need a brighter lettering if you're going to pop that small typeset out. Otherwise, if it's too faded, sometimes it's just a color issue and not a size issue.
You're right,
sometimes it's both.
But the companies are not going to redesign that. If they already did the album 40 years ago, they're not going to redesign the album cover to fit to a CD. And the sad part, Kyle, is, and I'm sure you and I can commiserate on this, is that we had these unbelievable album and 45 collections and 78s. And then at some point, somebody said, okay, cassettes are it. All right. So then we tossed a bunch of albums onto cassettes. And then after a while, somebody said, okay, CDs are it. Okay. So then we had to go out and until we were able to burn our own CDs, then we had to go out and buy all these new CDs. And then after we did all that, now we can't even buy a car with a CD player in it. I have to have a thumb drive with 3,200 songs on random, which I agree with you is a great way to listen to music.
Okay, here's something.
And now, what's next? The holograms in my car? I don't know.
Actually, physical media is picking back up now because I'm kind of in on the thing because I still go to CD Trader down the road, which is right across the street from Norman's Rare Guitars. You've heard of that, right?
Oh yeah, I've been there many times.
Yeah. I'm right across the street of CD Trader. I knew the original owner, who before that store had his original store out in Thousand Oaks on Moore Park Boulevard, where I used to work. So I told Steve, goes back 30 years now into the mid late 90s. I told Steve the owner, I go, Steve, there's a couple shops in the valley, but they're kind of terrible. I go, with the way you operate this, it would be a good idea if you're going to branch out to have your next store over in the area where I live, which is Woodland Hills, Tarzana, not really as far as Encino, although it would be okay. So he popped it right in Tarzana. He doesn't own it anymore, but other people operate it. But it's a fantastic store of both new and used music.
Yep.
A great collection of vinyl. And they really know how to put it together well. So I love going over there and check it out. So it's coming back. The vinyl is coming back as far as physical media, including CDs. Now there's a little bit of a return coming back. It ebbs and flows, that type of thing, because there's only so much formats you can listen to.
Yeah.
That you can afford to buy, because you have to deal with the economy, right? Like that guitar, for instance, as an example, that's not an expensive guitar. I don't buy $5,000 guitars because I'm just getting back into it from back in the 90s when I had to
Right.
leave it behind. So I've got a nice collection now, but what's happening now is because of the way the economy, people can't justify paying $5,000 for a guitar anymore. Some people out there that are they're going to do that and but now you have to watch out to make sure it doesn't get ripped off.
Right.
So the guitar companies are now having to make guitars better quality but less expensive now. So now the quality of less expensive guitars is so much better than what it used to be over the last several years, just because of economic.
That is true.
To keep them viable and keep them in business.
I don't know. I don't really know the process anymore. But I bought my guitars when every guitar that came across Fender or Gibson or Gretsch, or I'm just trying to think what other guitars I might have had. Uh, they were made by hand. And then once CBS or Sony took over Fender and they started making them overseas, they were cut by the wood was cut by computer and simply assembled by workers.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really
Yeah.
put their hands on the product to make the guitars anymore. So I
Well,
stopped.
you have
Stopped
technology
buying them
taking.
after about 1975.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's probably when the best homemade all the guitars are, and everybody that's a real pro knows that.
That's yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that's a good thing that it's still out there. But when technology kind of takes over a little bit, it helps on the pricing, and it actually improves on the quality. After a while, everybody has to learn their lesson when they're doing that sort of thing in order to stay in business. Because if less expensive guitars, those are not going to sell either. So
Right.
now they go out of business. So they have to be careful to not try to do something on the cheap all the time. And you have to be careful of what you purchase out there as well. There's good guitars, there's bad guitars. There's everything in the middle too.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
I've been going through the research of that all the last several years to just kind of see what's out there and pick and choose which ones I want. There's a guitar brand out of Germany that I like called Harley Benton, but it gets a bad rap because it doesn't have a middleman. You have to buy directly from them, but they have a better price.
There's
Because they
a
don't
there's
sell the
a
guitar center.
there's an acoustic guitar company that's like that. Zager, the guy. Remember Zager and Evans from 2525?
No, I don't. I don't think. No.
In the year 2525.
Oh, okay.
Okay, maybe I'm a little older. Okay, anyway, Zager and Evans, and then Zager went off, actually moved to New Mexico, and started making guitars. And to the best of my knowledge, his son has taken over the company and makes guitars. And they're supposed to be a quality acoustic guitar, but you have to buy it through them.
Yeah.
You cannot get it in a music store
That's
unless
right.
unless somebody sells it to a used through a used
There you
process.
go. Yeah. Yeah, that's
But
right. Yeah, they'll have them directly through their website now. And they may have a shop here and there that is strictly just one that it just depends on how that setup is. There's several really good acoustic guitar makers out there that are specialized.
do you remember being in LA for years? Do you remember there was a guitar maker there, was around for a short period of time, had an aluminum neck. It was called a Travis Bean. Do you remember those?
No, but I've heard the name.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah, the
remember the
Travis
name. Yeah.
Bean was a very unique guitar. but they came and went because I think at some point, I don't know, he had a hard time getting the aluminum to make all the necks that he needed or whatever the process would have been.
Well, yeah, he was lacking production supply.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But there you go.
You have to work all that stuff out. You got
You
wood,
do.
you got wood people, places you buy everything, all the components and parts with, and wood and all this stuff. And it's a huge business out there.
Oh, and yeah,
Yeah,
just think, besides that, and then the electronics that need to go into a
yeah,
guitar.
all the hardware and stuff like that.
Oh,
And that goes for
absolutely.
Europe. That goes for Europe as well. Everybody is different woods from different parts of the world.
Correct.
Not just mahogany or maple from one place only.
Right.
There's different types of mahoganies, different types of maple. Therefore, you have different shades and colors. Is it roasted, or are they going to leave it plain,
Well,
or what?
that was the great thing about those old Les Pauls, the Sunbursts. No two of them were ever identical because of the way the wood was and the way that they finished the wood on it.
Yeah, yeah,
They looked great. They looked similar, but no two wood patterns were the same
yeah,
ever.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But anyway,
I've got
okay.
a friend of mine that Mark Knight. He lives right down 10 houses down the street from me. He was the co-founder of the band Bang Tango in 1988, 89. And he's got a selection of great guitars and
Yeah.
old classics from way back. He's got an old Jackson that he used for one of his big hits on the old MTV videos that he was in. And I see him once in a while outside. But he's got some great Les Pauls, and he's got a great Telly, and he's got different things that long-term experienced professional musicians like himself are going to have.
Yep. Yep.
They're going to have those guitars. But anyway, this music CD thing that I have is going to be kind of fun to put together, I think. I'm going to show a variety of different stuff that I have, including Sony and one other label put out those original album classics. Where you buy this, it's got 5 albums. I should probably show you. I've got some over here. Should I go grab one right now? And anyway, they make the CDs with the original miniature of the album jackets. And I've got like a dozen of those. I've got one by Van Halen. I've got Doobie Brothers. I got Michael Franks. I've got a great Santana one. I've got the Crusaders for jazz. Anyway, when I put those out and show those on the Music Librarium channel, it'll be fun to show people by pulling them out and bring in what they can see.
Obviously, this just means it's another episode that we're going to have to shoot with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking. Once you get it done, I want to see the episodes.
Yeah, once I put up I'll probably post 2 a week, 8 a month. After
Okay.
I do a month or two, I'll send you guys the link to them. You can take a look.
Yeah.
And of the videos. They're only going to be 8 to 10 minutes long. I'm not doing some
Right.
hour-long goofy. I like to be tight and efficient and concise, and boom, 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 and show people different ways of going about listening to different music, especially the remasters now too, right? Here's something cool. I'll let you guys know that I'm going to show this in the librarium when I get it started. Jethro Tull and Elton John, their remasters on some of their remaster albums on CDs have bonus tracks, right? Now, I'm not in love with bonus tracks in general because they're just repeats of tracks that are already on the CD, and I don't like that. I don't like buying those. But Elton John and Jethro Tull put brand new songs from those original sessions that didn't make it on the original albums back onto those CDs.
Oh.
And therefore, when you're listening to it in random mode, it's like, whoa, that was not on here before. So that's what kind of opens up a new portal of a new way of listening to it where you haven't heard it in the same way before, with those added tracks on. And I think it's going to be real fun to be able to bring that to people's attention when they watch the videos.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the reaction videos where they'll play
I
a
love those.
song that they've never heard? Like a younger person's playing a song, from the 80s or whatever.
Younger generations are listening to Steely Dan or something and go, what's this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love, there's about a half a dozen of them I really love to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
I
fun.
get a kick out of it. And sometimes there's not just one person in the room. Sometimes there's two or three, and you get to
Yeah.
watch a double, triple reaction. And it's great for them for me, it's great for them to enjoy hearing the music of the past, because it shows them the difference between the music back then and the music now that they grew up with.
Right.
So they could like go, God, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
watching the Grammys recently, like last week. I don't watch award shows, but I've heard a lot of negative slack about, like, I mean, I looked at the list. I don't even know anybody there.
yeah.
And Rick Beato's channel on YouTube, he's like, the music quality, the song quality is just, I'm sorry.
I know.
They're not really songs about love anymore.
Right.
Well, there's a reason that the 80s rock scene is still so big. Like there's still radio stations. And I don't know, it could be just that we're old, you guys, and that we think our music's the best. Because some of the new music is catchy, but
Mhm.
it doesn't have the quality that we grew
I
up with.
listen to the radio once in a while here. There's a one out of Cal State Northridge I listen to because it's close by. And when I'm in my car, I can catch the jazz station out of Long Beach. That I really enjoy. But there's some radio stations I just don't, to me, they're just playing radio music.
Mm-hmm.
There's some songs that are just radio music. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy their albums or their CDs.
No.
It just sounds like radio music, and I need something, I come from that heavy audiophile background, so I'm kind of picky and choosy about what I actually purchase. And
Well-
by the way, one thing, John, you mentioned that, you can't get a CD player in a car anymore. Okay. We did this first interview last year. Okay. I bought a new car because I need to keep my truck on the road a little bit less now. I still have it on the road, but I didn't buy a brand new model. I bought a 2003 Lincoln Town Car.
Beautiful.
Okay. Now it was in great condition, and I saved a ton of money, and it's going to last forever because they're built that way, right? Okay. In it, music wise, sound wise, is the original Alpine sound system that came factory
With the car.
in
Yep.
those cars.
Yep.
This one has a combination CD player and cassette deck.
Oh,
Boo-boo!
Uh,
Now, I have a huge library of recorded mixes on cassette that I've done.
right.
And when I worked back in the music business, when I worked in the record stores in 77, 78, 79, that was during the time where cassettes were coming in and 8-tracks were leaving. So I saw the shift happen right in front of my eyes
Absolutely.
in the music
Yeah.
stores,
Yeah.
So it's great that I can use my tapes in the car now. It's just fantastic, and it sounds so good. I had to let you know that before the interview ended about that.
Fun. Well, what I wanted to say is, John, I'm sure you know this, but your old friend, dear old friend, and my newer friend, Bobby Massano, just won Album of the Year, and he won Best Song for Still Life for the World Entertainment Awards. I was so excited.
Oh, that's great.
So excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you a link to his songs, Kyle.
Okay.
The song "Jump" is the one that won, and of course the whole album won. And I loved it from the minute I heard it. I've just played it over and over and over. It's an awesome song. He deserved to win it.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Bobby.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
There's great music being written and recorded and produced all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody has their era, their favorite eras of music that they listen to. I don't necessarily look at music as one is this is better than this or that's better than it's just it's what everybody gravitates to.
Right.
I have a wide variety of listening interests with certain music, and my library is going to be different from someone else's library.
Yep.
But that's what makes it interesting for
Yep.
me to be able to bring that out into a YouTube channel where it focuses on nothing but that.
Yeah.
And there's a few other of them that do that too. There's a YouTube channel, a guy, real funny Brit guy out of England, and he compliments albums, and then he bashes ones that I just watched yesterday, like the worst album ever, because he's kind of sardonic. He's just funny as hell, and I like watching his videos too. And he'll go over the albums, and he's on camera, and he's an interesting older character, and he has a lot of music history as well as we do.
Awesome. I'm excited. I mean, I didn't know you were going to do this, so I'm very excited
Yeah,
to
neither
see
did
it,
I.
hear about
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was good.
Well, we'll do a whole other show about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
This
We'll have to have you back and you can talk about it. and
I'd
see.
enjoy having
Yeah.
that conversation for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's so good to see you. Thank you for sharing, the story about your puzzle books. And so we'll put a link below where
Okay.
people can buy them down in the description.
Absolutely.
And they're just awesome. I mean, I like them. I give them as gifts.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a lot of time to sit around and do puzzles right now because I'm not retired. But when I retire, I will. So
Yeah, you bought the Country Puzzlers book for your neighbor.
yes,
Have
she
they
loves them.
responded?
She loves
Does she?
puzzles. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay,
She was
that's cool.
excited.
There
Yeah,
you
because
go.
what she'll do, we'll get together once in a while. She'll have like a couple cookies. Because she bakes, she'll give me some cookies, and then she'll give me like one page out of a puzzle book. She'll make a copy of it or something and give it to me. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to give her, because that's what she does. She's retired and she does puzzles. So I gave her the country music puzzle book, and she
Yeah,
loved it.
once you see the books on, look through them. It's like, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Because
was it.
the outside looking in, you can only see so much, but you really need to
Go through it.
embody these things because
Okay, well, let this go, and then we'll end it with this. Who did the song Outside Looking In?
outside looking in. Uh, well, I'm really good with this stuff, and you got me on this one. I've heard of the outside looking in. You mean the Tubes?
No, they didn't do Outside Looking In.
Okay, well, they have a similar album
Yeah,
title.
I think they
Okay,
do some
give me the genre. What tune? What music genre?
early heavy metal rock, late 60s. I can even
Outside looking in.
three guy band, three guys in the band out of the Midwest, like Detroit, Ann Arbor area.
Oh no, it's close. I could guess as I can't get it.
Tell.
They were an American band.
Oh, Grand Funk Railroad.
There you go.
There you go. Outside
there you
looking
go.
in. Now, yeah, I remember that tune now.
I
Yeah.
just came
yeah.
up with an idea. We have to have a show where we do a contest of songs, battle, whatever. And I'll be the host
Jeopardy?
and you guys can be the contestants.
Okay, we can do that.
That would be
I'm
fun.
in anytime. All
I've
right.
always wanted to do games.
Anyway, Kyle, it was great seeing you
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I love you. I
Great.
miss you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we'll
great
talk.
chatting
I'll
with
give
you
you a
guys, too.
call.
Okay.
And we'll talk
Sounds
soon.
good.
Take care.
All views expressed in this video belong to Kellie Nicholson, John D'Amore, and guests. These discussions do not represent the opinions of any entity whatsoever with which they have been affiliated now or will be in the future. The opinions expressed are solely theirs, and since they are critically thinking human beings, these views are subject to change, subject to revision, and subject to rethinking at any time. These conversations are not meant to be taken as advice and are only for the purpose of entertainment. All statements may be based on hearsay and not necessarily valid proof of any claims in this video. It is not our intention to teach or advise on any topic. Unless otherwise noted, all photos are public domain.
Thanks for watching A Slice of Life with Kellie and John.